This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 11, Episode 6, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing those Washington Commanders and probably nothing else. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit that $sign if you're on YouTube.
Yeah, it's football season. All people want to hear is about the Commanders.
Pretty much for now. Wait a couple more losses. We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, Caps Penguins starting a month. Hockey's back.
Oh, God. Okay. Saw Magic bought into the women's soccer team, too. So we got that going on.
Hey.
I saw there's a women's hockey league starting, too. They named 16 cities that were going to.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, we read that today. So there you go. Maybe the Pens can win that one.
Well, the big thing obviously this year will be the Ovechkin chase for Gretzky's record.
I don't think he's going to catch him, though, this year, is he?
I think he can if he plays well. If he has an OV type year, he can catch him. I'll do some Googling while we talk about the football team.
So the first thing we do, we always pick the game because nobody laughs to the end of the show. I'm going to take Washington 23, New York Giants 21, and yes, the spread is 2.5.
You know, Daniel Jones has thrown 10 touchdowns and 3 interceptions against the Redskins football team Commanders franchise. Yep. He burns us. This is the only team that he can play well against.
Yeah, he's like Phil Simms, Eli Manning. They always great against it. Matter of fact, I looked. Washington has only won a decade series. You know, the teams in the 70s with George Allen and the 80s with Gibbs. That's the only time they've ever won a decade against the Giants. Yeah, I mean, they're down like 30-some losses from 500 against them. And that was a big rivalry for a long time. Yeah, when I was hanging out with Sam Huff, years ago, and we go up to New York, man, Sam got treated like royalty by Giants fans.
Yeah.
They loved him as much as Redskins fans. And it was a big rivalry, and then Washington kind of got diverted against Dallas. But this was a game for both teams for a lot of times. And still in New York, they still look at this one, a lot. The Phillies now kind of in there too. But
yeah.
I didn't hear your pick. Which one are you taking?
I'll go 24-20 Washington.
Okay. Well, at least you got them covered.
I think we're on the same mindset. I think that they will win. This is honestly, these teams are very comparable. I'm just glad we don't have to deal with Saquon Barkley. We saw what he did as an Eagle his first game. Obviously, we're going to have to deal with him in Philly, but it's always, not only has it been the quarterbacks for the Giants, it's been the running backs. How many games did Tiki Barber just destroy us? Ron Dane was a MVP against the Redskins back in the day. It's incredible how poorly we play against the Giants. This is the home opener. I'm hoping that Quinn and Kingsbury and everybody kind of got it out of their system with the loss to Tampa. Daniels is going to be pumped. Hopefully these guys have kind of gotten a little bit more cohesion with one another, and we're going to see what this team probably could be. The Giants looked really bad against the Vikings. But like I said, it's the Giants, man. They always just seem to beat us. I don't know why.
Yeah, I always said the Eagles games are always the weirdest things of the season, and Dallas games are what they are. But the Giants games are the ones that they often outplay the Giants and lose. It's just the most aggravating, because these two losses, they've lost 3 straight, and a lot of years the 2 losses against the Giants are why they're in last place.
Right.
Out of the playoffs a couple of years ago, it's just aggravating what happens there. I say it's a must win, and I know people don't want to admit such a thing. But honestly, the loser of this game is headed for the number 1 draft pick, maybe, with Carolina fighting for that again. They might get number 2 again next year on it. And it seems like every year in the draft, because I know friends of mine cover the Giants, we talked about it. Every year it's like Washington and New York are looking for the same players. And usually the Giants have a higher pick a lot of years, but like the Giants really wanted to get, Jaden Daniels, but Washington was in front of them, so they couldn't even pull it off. So they went a different way. But to me, you better win because it's also a home game. And last year they won the home opener and didn't win again at home. If Josh Harris wants to recoup a little bit of that money, he's got to get some fans in there. Hopefully not visiting fans all the time.
I think this game, the fans will be there, to be out there. They want to see Jaden. They want to see this new roster. They want to see the new coaching staff. There's still enough excitement in the air to where I think that the people will show up for this one. But, you talk about this being a must win, and I hate to say it in week 2. Look, they did a really nice piece on NFL Network, and I don't know what you watch pregame when you're not, going to the games, but they did a real nice piece about, look, week 1 is a liar. Week 1 is never the way week 1 ends is not how the season is going to end. Obviously, look, the Bengals aren't as bad as the Bengals looked the other day. You know what I mean? The Bills almost lost to Arizona, but they pulled it off. Week 1 is not what the NFL season is going to be for all 32 of these teams. But I will say this. You don't beat the Giants, you're probably not going to beat Cincinnati on a Monday night. You got to go across the country to play Arizona, who has talent. You got to play Cleveland, who's always, usually in the top 3 of defense the past couple of years. Then you got to play Baltimore. I mean, you don't get another break until week 7 when you get to play Carolina and Chicago in week 8. You got 3 games in a row that are winnable in Carolina, Chicago, and New York. Aside from that, you really want to start off 0-6? Because you potentially could if you don't win this game. So I would say that there's a little bit of pressure on them to win this game, and you and I are kind of in the same mindset. It's going to be a close game, but I do believe that they can pull this one out.
So we talk about keys to the game. Boy, I sound like the nerds that talk about this stuff all the time. To me, all right, we'll start off. Jaden Daniels got to throw more to his receivers and run. I just think he needs a little more patience. That was his first game. I mean, his first game in that first play that went minus 15 yards.
Right.
Maybe you'll mention that in his Hall of Fame speech one day. But man, that was like, what just happened? So okay, we'll throw it out on that. I mean, I gave him a B in my grades.
I thought he played well. I'm with you. I think he played well. I just don't think. I think he was the only offense. There was no other offense out there besides him, and it needs to be more spread out. I hope this week we see Ertz, we see Eckler, we see Noah Brown out there. Even if he doesn't know the plays or he doesn't catch the ball, at least you have to compensate for him being on the field and not being able to put a safety over the top on Terry. McLaurin needs his touches. He's the leader of this team. You have to incorporate these guys. And like I said on Tuesday, you got to take the toys out of the package. You got to play with them. We're not all the 40-year-old virgin. You can't just leave them in the wrapper until they're worth something. Get them out of the wrappers.
Yeah. All right. Number 2 for pass rush has to get home. I mean, it's nice that they disrupted things, but you got to start hitting Danny Dimes, regularly.
Yes.
I didn't quite get what's going on with Payne and Allen on the inside. There wasn't lack of effort. I mean, they penetrated. They just were poor tackling open, and that's because you don't practice all this stuff during the training camp. That's one. You can't hit a quarterback in training camp. So I used to really grabbing them, that kind of thing. That's got to happen. I mean, I saw Jamin Davis actually made a play, but that was one. Very good.
Yeah, and who would think that Cleveland Farrell was the only commander to get the sack this game? You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Payne and Allen need to wrap him up, and Bobby Wagner needs to be Bobby Wagner, and he needs to be a tackling machine.
Yeah, he had 10 tackles in the opener, but yet I didn't really feel like he was effective on anything.
No, it was, when they're getting 5-6 yards per rush and, they're doing whatever they want in the screen game. Yeah, he's going to get his numbers, but he didn't. Bobby Wagner is the type of guy that can disrupt a game and completely change the game for you. And we did not see that week 1. I'm going to give the guy a little bit of a break. I mean, it's his first game with a new team. He knows Quinn's defense, but do the other 11 or the other 10 guys? No. So I'll give him a little bit of a break, but Yeah, I mean, you need to see things out of Farrell. You need to see things out of Payne Allen. You need to see Jamin Davis shine more than once. This defensive front, the front seven needs to really and they need to get to Danny and they need to tackle Danny. That's the biggest thing is tackling. This team for the past 4 years under Ron Rivera hasn't been able to tackle. It's not like it's still in the locker room and these guys are drinking the anti-tackling antidote. They just got to go out there and do it.
I got to see more Brian Robinson. I need more cowbell
I
here.
agree.
I mean, it's like he had a great touchdown, when, was the catch movement, going across things. I thought that was awesome. But how many carries did he have? 5 or something? I mean, it was ridiculous. I
But
thought,
Rick, I got a question for you. We're not going to be able to see the full potential of Brian Robinson until they get this offensive line fixed.
well, it's year 3, and he hasn't got a 1,000-yard season yet, and it's 17 games. They need to feed him. I'm not blaming him so much. They need to start getting him more in there as a bam kind of runner.
Yeah.
They don't quite have that type of line.
I feel like he's the type of running back that's going to, he needs the touches in order to get going. But I really don't think we'll see his full potential until they fix this offensive line. And by then, we don't even know if he'll be here.
Yeah, then he's an old vet. Yeah.
Right.
Harry's nearing 30. I'm like, what?
I know.
Yeah, that's just crazy. They got a new kicker. Be their 5th one on the roster this year. I haven't seen his number yet. Poor Mosley gives up his 3, and then it's just a revolving door of crap on there. But last week with the different kicker, I mean that game could have gone a little differently if he made those 2 field goals. But that made Washington lose contact with Tampa, and Tampa got too far ahead. Then you can't run Brian Robinson, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this faith in coaches kind of surprised me a little bit. Kingsbury, I didn't like his game plan really at all. Now, maybe JD didn't execute it all. And then defensively, I don't know what game they were playing, because I just didn't. That's where the coach likes to say football is life and, kill them. I didn't see that.
Yeah. And when the screen pass isn't working, don't keep going back to it. You know what I mean? The screen game. It was the first play of the game. It didn't work. It lost you 9 yards. The screen game was not working. Tampa went out there and executed their screen game and it worked pretty well, but the side to side passing just wasn't working. This is a team that needs to put the ball down the field, whether it's on the legs of Brian Robinson and Eckler, or, I mean, look, if you want to do screen passes or dump offs, I get it, but use it with a guy like Austin Eckler in the middle who can get you 5-6 yards and then probably shake 1 or 2 guys for a couple extra yards. I mean, that's why you brought a guy like that in here. Like you've said all along, these aren't guys just that are here to kick to get paychecks. These guys are here to produce. These guys, they were brought in as veteran leadership, and these guys were brought in to produce. They're not just here to collect paychecks. This isn't the Dan Snyder era anymore. But yeah, I need to see more out of Eckler. I need to see more out of Ertz. I need to see more out of the veterans. I know we've talked about a lot of guys that we need to see stuff out of, but for me, it's the vets. It's the guys that were brought in here to execute Kingsbury and Joe Witt and Dan Quinn's schemes.
Did you see Ertz's face after he was called for being off?
Yeah,
man, got it a look there, man. Showed you how angry he was.
Yeah, this formation procedure penalties, God, that's going to be the bane of the existence of the NFL for the rest of the season.
Hey, guys, wife just had twins.
Yep.
So,
he wants to go to work.
He's not getting any sleep or rest. Who do you think wins the fans? I'm going to say it's 60% Commanders fans, 40% Giants fans. And I'm probably crazy, but I'll just say it's the opener. And
yeah, home opener. We want to see the new shiny toy in Jaden Daniels. The fan base still believes in this ownership group, and they believe in the coaching staff. I would say, yeah, about 65% Commanders fans.
Yeah, but wait till the Pittsburgh game.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing with the Giants. I mean, it's just a quick trip down the Acela.
Well, there's so many New Yorkers that live down here. That's why they all over. I know. Like I said, 5% of DC residents alone are transplanted New Yorkers.
Right.
They come down here. So, but yeah, you can get on the train and come down too. Now, would they want to with their crappy team too? I don't know how many of them are getting on the train.
I'm sure Northwest Field, I'm sure it's cheaper to get into than it is to get into the Met.
Well, yeah, I saw a lot of tickets, $9,
Mhm.
during the season here. I mean, it'll be visiting fans buy them. And, Josh Harris can't be picky about whose money he's taking. Now with the debt service he's got going on with this. So
He just spent $6 billion on a franchise, plus how much upgrades have they put into the stadium? He's got to get that money somehow.
Yeah, he's put in over $100 million, just on that. He wants to build a nice practice facility eventually. That's going to cost a whole lot of money, more than you'd ever imagine. Yeah, that might go 400 or 500 million, something like that. So, yeah, they're going to have a lot of Giants fans will be there, but
hey, Rick, it costs a lot of money to shine a turd, and this was definitely a turd.
yeah, well, it'll be another one of those years, I guess. We'll see. I don't know if you can win this one. If you can win Arizona, you got a puncher's chance of staying near 500. You go 0-6, 0-6, you trade everybody at the trade deadline and start over again. I don't know who you trade them for, but that at that point you bail on the season.
My bold prediction for the season was that probably John Allen will be traded by the end of the season.
May want to be traded by the season.
And I'm sticking with that. Between his frustrations with this franchise and losing for as many years as he has, it would be beneficial to move him for whatever you can get. Thank God Adam Peters is making a deal, because unfortunately on Monday night I had to watch Trent Williams with his brand new fat contract just dominate everybody. Luckily Jahan Dotson didn't do anything on Friday against Green Bay.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, if it was frustration here wanting to get traded, I'd be working for the San Francisco Chronicle by now. For 3 pens and a Sharpie, Yeah,
exactly.
But I've been traded. All right, we're out of here. Be back next Monday on this. I did my picks that are on Saturday mornings went 10, 4, and 1. So for all you clowns that give me a hard time, I kept my shirt on this week on it. But otherwise,
you make any money?
No.
Oh,
I'm going to Vegas next week, baby. I'm saving it all for Vegas.
You put some money on a Super Bowl winner?
I don't know. I can buy future tickets. I look forward to seeing the sport. That's the problem with Vegas, though. To take a moment here, we used to go to Vegas because they had all the gambling, casinos. They got the sports betting. Do it all on your phone now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see the Eagles inside the Sphere. See a couple other shows. Going to some national parks in the area. The part about being 25 drunk, stupid on the Strip, I've been there, but my wife ain't letting me go back. So different experience at this point. I'm going to go take the damn tour again. I've been there a few times. Got to go see a break.
The damn tour. That damn tour.
You take all the damn pictures you want.
There you go.
You say that stuff. It's funny. All right, we're out of here. I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent with your hosts, Rick Snyder and Matt Combs.